remember I hated him because of that. I said, all right, then if we're going to go to hell, then we might as well just go all the way. And we started gangbanging. But a lot of it was because we had so much pain. We had so much things that we had to express, but we couldn't because we actually thought that my dad, was going to spank us for it. That's what we thought. Well, as we began to grow up, my anger for my dad started growing. Him not knowing, and a lot of things happened in my life that led me to get even more bitter and more angry towards my loved ones as well as myself. I was building a person who was totally evil against God. Couldn't stand God up to one point. But let me share what happened. What happened was that as I was growing up, at 9 years old, I remember going to church. The pastor made an altar call. I came forward, and I remember I laid there, and I said, Lord, I'm going to get older. Please don't ever leave me, Lord. Please protect me. My life is yours. I will serve you. I remember as a little kid. So when I began gangbanging, all those times, I always, believe it or not, I used to pray before I did something dumb, if you know what I mean. Lord, please don't let me get caught. That's always my prayer. I did get caught many times. And most of my teenage life, I was in jail. But the thing was that I remember through a lot of situations, my wife tells me, pronounce it right, David. Through a lot of situations, God would speak to me and remind me how much He loved me. I remember once, and I was maybe about 17 years old. I'm hanging there with my girlfriend at that time. My brothers are locked up. And this car passes right in front of me, right? And he stops right, we were in the West LA area. He stops right in front of me. They take out an AK-47 and put it right in my chest, and they asked me where I was from. I told them where I was from, and they kind of pulled the trigger, but the gun got stuck. In my mind, I was thinking, oh, it's a fake gun. I didn't really, I couldn't understand that it was a real gun, and God was putting His finger on the trigger there. He wouldn't let him pull. So as soon as they took off laughing, I'm thinking, dude, we gotta get these guys. So what happens is my homeboy comes around with another car. I jump in the car. My another homeboy gets in the car, and I tell him, let's go after these guys, man. So we start chasing them. Little did I realize it was a trap. Once we got to the other side of the freeway, they were waiting for us, man. All these, a rival gang was waiting for us. And what they did, they began to shoot at our car. And they would come right next to us. And I would jump out of the, after ducking, I would jump up. I'd throw my gang. They would throw their gang. And then they would start shooting inside the car. We were just like side by side. I would duck. I'd get back up. I didn't have a gun. So all I can do is, whatever. But they're shooting inside the car, right? And I'm thinking, man, they're going to kill us here. So I told my friend, dude, you got to get on the freeway. We got to take off. My homeboy was like, dude, I'm trying. At this time, we're getting shot from both sides of the freeway and behind us. And they started hitting the car, trying to make us crash. So I told my homeboy to make a left. He goes trying to get into the 10th freeway over there by Hoover. If you guys know where that area is at, by USC area. I'm trying to get on the freeway there. When I turn, there's more guys waiting for us. They come straight at us. They hit the car. The car starts spinning. At that time, when the car is spinning, my homeboy jumps out of the car and takes off. So I'm like, orale, this guy's gone, just left us. So when the car stopped, I remember jumping off. I remember running, but I hear my homeboy say, I'm just calling by my real name, David. And I look back and his foot is stuck. Well, the Regal of the car that we had looked like a bug, man. I think it was all crashed in. His foot was stuck. For some reason, I was able to run back, open the door. He came out, and once we started running, all the guys were right in front of us, man. I'm not even lying. Maybe because I was young, it felt like 1,000, but let's just say it was maybe about 50 guys. They're standing in front of me, and I look at them. Actually, I was 16. I'm looking at them. They're looking at me, and these guys are señores, man. They got brochas, big old beards and stuff, and I'm looking at them. They're looking at me, and they're going after us, and I do something that, that a gangbanger not to do. And that is, I yelled. I said, ah! And that gave me enough time for them to stop. They looked at me, they're like this, and then they're coming up, and I yelled, they go, huh? That was enough for me to take off. So we ran into a party. All this time I'm thinking, God, please don't kill me. We ran into a party, we're hiding underneath some tables, the guys are dancing, they look down and they say, hey, who are you, dude? Not dude, hey, say, who are you, homie? Like that, right? So I'm like, oh, what's up? He goes, where are you guys from? So we told them where we're from. They told us where they're from. Ends up that they're enemies. So they start jumping us. So now me and my homeboy are being jumped in the pile. All these guys are trying to jump us. The full bunch of guys there. They're jumping us, but because there's so many, man, we kind of went through the bottom untouched type of thing. by the time we got to the corner, he takes off to the left, I took off to the right. I'm telling him, no, come this way. Well, when I look back to try to get his attention, he's already getting jumped with bats. They're beating him down. I couldn't go back because I would have been dead. You know, so somehow he got away. I don't know how he got away, but he got away. And I remember I said, man, I got to run across this freeway, man, because if I don't, they're going to kill me. So now we got the guys from the party chasing us. The guys, you know, that were in the cars waiting for us, chasing us. And man, it's just crazy, right? I'm running towards the freeway. The car stops in front of me. He gets up with the 9 and puts it in my head. Where you from? Where you from? And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, God, you know, I can't rank out. And boom, I bursted it out, right? I told him where I was from. And he's trying to shoot me, and all I can hear is click, click, like that. So I'm like, oh gosh, what do I do? And when I look up, he hits me with the gun right up here. He kind of skinned me. I was able to pull back. I fall to the ground, and I can see him trying to, you know, get it unstuck. And he's trying to like, man, dude, like that. And I'm looking at him, and I'm saying, if I don't get up, I'm dead. So I remember I got up, and I just started running across the 10 freeway around 6 o'clock, man. So, you know, there's traffic. I was like Frogger, just going back and forth, you know, trying to figure it. It was crazy. And the next time I knew, I can just hear, and the guy's just blasting at me. Bah, bah, bah. Anyways, I made it across. I'm sitting there, I'm saying, man, Lord, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. You know? And when I'm saying that, I hear my homeboy, David, help me. I'm like, okay, Lord, now I got to go back. So I had to run halfway back the freeway, get him, bring him back, and by the time we ran back to the neighborhood, where, you know, where all the homeboys were, my wife now, girlfriend back then, tells me, I thought you were dead. And I was like, no, forget that. Homeboy, you know, my homeboy, you know, he jumped out of the car. We don't know where he's at. He comes out, hey, oh, you guys are all right? Oh, gosh, I thought you guys were dead. And I'm like, dude, where were you? Because, dude, I jumped off when the car was spinning, man. I said, smart. But anyways, the point is, that's when the Lord began to tell me, Dave, look, you need to get out of this life. I didn't listen. I kept on, you know, gangbanging. And 1 year, we lost 17 homeboys. 1 year. That's a lot for a street gang in L.A. The reason why is our neighborhood got what is called the green light. You guys know what a green light is, right? You get a green light. The homeboys got a green light. Everybody was coming down on us, man. And around that time, I lost some of my best friends. One of them being my friend Henry. And this is where the Lord starts. My anger towards God, you know, my ways towards God started changing. I didn't want him. I hated him. And I know a lot of people say that, but you need to understand, I really did. And the reason why, because I had a friend named Henry who was very close to me. This guy was my best friend for many reasons. In fact, he was one of the guys, and I shared this with my dad yesterday. He was the guy who stopped me from killing my dad. And I'll get back to that story, but what happened with my dad was I remember I shared with you, my mom was sick. My mom would say a lot of things. And one day she said something that got me really ticked off. And I remember calling my dad, telling him, you know what, Dad, you're dead. I'm going to kill you. So I had a 2-barrel shotgun waiting for him. When he came in, I was like, I'll kill you right now, boy. And I'm loading the gun, and I'm trying to take him out, you know. And my other homie came and grabbed the gun and said, dude, what are you doing? You stupid ass, you're jefito, man. And knocked some sense into me. And I told my dad, dude, I'll kill you, man. Yesterday was the first time that I apologized. I apologized to him for that. Because, you know what, I was stupid. You know, I was young. I was just angry. You know, and like I told you, I would blame him. You know, well, you know, so I wanted him dead. Well, by the grace of God, you know, I didn't kill him, you know. But what happened, that one guy, Henry, I just got out of jail. He goes up to me and tells me, hey, Dave. He goes, we're buddies, man. We're road dogs, homie. He goes, yeah, I know what's up. He's like, look, I was talking to your mom, and she told me about Christ, and she told me about hell. Dude, I don't want to go to hell. I tell him, that's cool. He said, no,